way because they want the career to move forward. I think that when we fight for that, that's actually feeding the patriarchal system because then you're not able to be who you are. You're still bending and trying to fit into a box that wasn't created for you. You get what I'm saying? So I think that that's so interesting. So that poem essentially was helping. It was to encourage women to understand that in your womanhood, and that could be in anything for many women, but in your womanhood, in your womb, in the things that make women women, there is power in that, and you don't have to try to alter it to like your you don't have to try to find other kind of power. You don't have I had a friend that she would always say I'm so fascinated by men. I try to sit like a man. I'm just like, why? I mean, I get it because men are deemed powerful, but it's because we're not seeing the power in women, and then we're measuring the stick that we're measuring our power is by a patriarchal one instead of just measuring it based on exactly who we are. It's kind of interesting. I was also saying this about even Africa, right? Africa will always be a continent of third world countries, and the reason why is because we're measuring against a Western system. The Western system was not created for Africa. It wasn't.
Keep talking.
The Western system was created by the West. and
even that, just the size of it on the map tells the story.
Right, it tells the story, and so interesting because it's like what are we defining as success, and what is the stick by which we're measuring our success by, and are we just continuously measuring ourselves up against a stick that we will never measure up to? Mm-hmm. For example, Africa, I had conversations with my dad, about white people, and I've noticed something, and whether or not this is fact or not, I noticed that there's a difference in, generally speaking, in the way white people operate and the way black people operate. Black people are more kin based, they're more community based. It sounds kind of weird, but it's I feel like as black people, or even if we just even go back to Africa, it's so communal. It's because there's an abundance. When there's abundance, you don't have to struggle for anything because you can get, if we all want cows, there's enough cows for everybody. I don't have to try to shoot you and undercut you or undercut to take your cow so I can think I'm better than you. We all get a cow. You get a cow, you get a cow, you get a cow, right? But if you look at Europe, where most white people hail from, it's cold. Resources are scarce there. And when there's scarcity, there's competition, and when there's competition, there's manipulation and undercutting of people. And so that system, that whole capitalistic system, is not it. If we keep measuring Africa against a capitalistic system, it likely won't ever really measure up to it, because it wasn't created with the culture of that place in mind. White people are by nature, generally speaking, a lot more competitive, quote unquote, whatever that word is. They're a lot more competitive. They're a lot more, I think I call it manipulative, but that's just me. They're a lot more like that because if you look back in their history, they came from where it's cold. If it's cold and I didn't get enough meat, I'm coming for your meat. If I didn't get enough meat for my family, guess whose meat I'm coming for? Your meat, because you got meat and I have a family to feed, so I'm taking your meat. In Africa, it's warm all the time. Anybody got struggle with nothing. It's just it's just there. Oh, fruit falls on the ground. It's just there. So it's this stick by which we're measuring against. It's we have to go take a step back and reevaluate. What are we measuring ourselves up against? What is the standard that we are using to then judge ourselves and feel either validated or invalidated? And it's just so interesting. So for women, we use a patriarchal standard. And even many feminists who are fighting against that are feeding to that system because we are still judging our success, our everything based on that standard. And it's so interesting. It's that's it. I just kind of sit back and just that's interesting.
So marriage for women is feeding into ideology as well.
What happened?
Marriage for women is feeding into ideology as well.
What
Because you said the construct of the role of a woman in this society.
Right, and but here's the thing, it's interesting, because I think that when it comes to the Bible, I'm Christian, I really like God, and Jesus, and so me and God, we have conversations, because I'm I don't really get this, who is Jesus again, what is all this stuff, I don't really get it. We be having conversations, because you're not going to just give me all this stuff and just expect me to just follow. I don't really get it. God knows me. I don't just follow anybody's rules. So I'm going to ask him questions, So I be asking him questions. He gives me a lot of answers. you know. And so one of the questions I've been having that, you know, that is still like kind of in the process of being revealed to me is the role of a man and a woman. I understand that there is a role, but I think that it's been pimped by human beings. So kind of like what that girl was saying in like the question that she asked, you know, that is, I forget how you phrased it, but it's like, does like what did you say?
The white Jesus?
Like not I mean, go say more about that.
White Jesus with the 12 disciples on one side of the table. Oh, the white God. If you and black and white people believe in the same God, hasn't he chosen that side?
Is that? But before that, she said something else about God. If she asked another if question about God. Dang, what was it? I don't remember. Basically that. She asked who did some X, Y, and Z? Was it, you know, like she asked a question with who, I think, in it.
Parables? The question is, do you like your pastor? Do you want truth or parables? That?
No, it was before. It was that was towards the end. It was before. Like it was like one of the first few things she said after they.
Is the Bible the same book that convinced black people Jesus was
right? Exactly.
Blonde hair, blue
right.
eyes.
That was the question, and the answer is no. It was human beings that did that. Human beings did that, not the Bible. Mm-hmm. The Bible did not do that. Human beings did that. And so in the same way, like a lot of the structures that we see that oppresses women, it's human beings that did that, not the Bible or God. God did not do that. Like that was God. That was not him. He was like, what is this? This ain't what this was not what I intended. You know. And so it's like human beings did that. Human beings were the ones who said, oh yeah, no, like the woman is supposed to serve me. It's like, no, no. What? Why would you like? And it's like the expectation, like, oh yeah, no, I'm the man and you're gonna serve me. It's like that's not what was written there. That's not what was written there. What was written there is that a wife should submit to her husband, and the husband should lay his life down for his wife as Jesus did the church. So that's equal submission. There's equal in that. It's not, oh, I'm just supposed to bow down to you and you're supposed to put your leg on my back. Like, no, that's not what it is. You're supposed to, you know, if I'm submitted to you, you lay your life down. It's a two-way street. It ain't just one way and I'm just slaving away in the kitchen. No, that's not what it was. That's not what. And so it's human beings that have put that. You know, human beings have put these things on what God says and have pimped out God's word such that people are like, so what did God say again? You know, it's like nobody really knows what God says because a lot of people are listening to people. Like even her asking him, "Do you like your pastor?" I mean, I don't know anybody's relationship with God, but I think that human beings are human beings, and so I think if we keep that in mind and understand that, we won't. Especially a lot of people who are led astray by pastors won't be led astray by pastors, because if we're thinking and we're looking in the Word, and if you're a Christian, looking in the Word and asking God these questions. He'll tell you the answer, and if your pastor says something that don't really match, you be like, I don't know about that, sir. Like, I mean, I get you, you know, you're anointed, but like, that doesn't sound right to me because I don't know. So that sounds a little strange to me, you know. And so a lot of people don't really read the Bible. They read the screen that their pastor puts on there, and then they take that, and then you know. So it's so interesting. I think that there's an importance. And I think this is in a very weird way happening that people are a lot of millennials are seeking God, and I think more millennials. This is not fact. I don't know if this is a number, if there are numbers to this, but I feel like, in my opinion, I think more millennials are actually finding out what God is really saying as opposed to what human beings are saying, and they're following God as opposed to human beings. You know, and it's like we're turning a lot of things on its face. So it looks like a lot of people are fleeing away from God, but it's like they're actually looking for God, and in that pursuit, they actually will find Him. And don't understand what he's saying, but that's just my theory, you know. And so it's just really, really interesting to me, you know. Like for me personally, like you could be the most anointed prophet of God, but if you're preaching and my spirit is being stirred, then that's great. But if it's not, I'm just gonna look at you like, interesting. That's an interesting thing you just said. I may not argue with you, or I'll just be like, in my head I'm like thinking like, I don't know about that. Like I'm not gonna take that because I don't think that's right. Because that doesn't really like because I know that God doesn't change. I know that God doesn't contradict himself. So and that's contradicting what everything that God just said. So I'm just like that doesn't really reflect God's character. So I'm not gonna take that. You know. And if by maybe some day down the line that God reveals to me like, oh, this is what they meant. Like, oh, I see how it matches. I'm like, okay. But I'm not just gonna go and take whatever somebody says as law. I'm gonna ask God, and if God confirms that, then I'm like, okay. Or if God tells me, and then human beings confirm that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me, you know. But I don't know. I think that I don't know. Baby,
that's my son.
Yeah.
Is he woke? Yeah.
He's awake.
Oh yeah, he's woke. He'll call me right now.
I'm shocked he said no.
I know. I'm like, dang, is it the hat?
I'm really shocked he said no. He's usually very kind.
He just woke up.
Oh, that's what it is.
He just woke up. So kids they don't want to touch nothing they don't know when they first wake up. But yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of opinions.
Mm-hmm.
They may or may not be correct, but that's how I feel about that. Yeah, I just think it's interesting. But I think that the movie's gonna be great. Like, I think it's gonna make people ask a lot of important questions.
That's what I want.
You know, and I pray that it like encourages dialogue. You know, and makes people like step outside of like just doing things religiously and really think about and religiously whether it has to do with spirituality or just even holding on to some ideology that they may or may not agree with. You know, I think is good. Like even with Donald Trump, I have some very unpopular opinions about that guy. You know, I just have some very, very unpopular opinions. Like some people, everybody hates him. I don't hate him. That's just me. You know, just different things like that. So, because I feel like a lot of people who hate him don't even know why they hate him. I feel like people just like, oh,
you're right. They just hate him just
because it's like a cool thing.
Right.
You know, I'm just like, oh,
they're supposed to.
Like, because right. I'm just like, what is supposed to even mean? Like, I'm supposed to do what? According to who? You know, and it's just like, I don't know. I just think it's so interesting. A lot of things, like, or people that hate gay people, I'm just like, you hate them because of what? Like, you know, oh God. Like, I saw a post recently that was talking about, like, I think it was, like, just LGBT people. And, you know, and what the post said is that people who are part of the LGBT community are not their people first. Then they're not just their orientation or sexuality or gender. They're just not that. Like that's just like another thing about them. It's like, but if we'll take a step back, what are they first people? Like they're not just like they're not gay people. Like like gay. They're not gay first. They're people. They're a person first. You know, it's so interesting. I think that when people start to think of things like that, it's like we can treat human beings as human beings should be treated instead of looking at people as this category that is just to be hated. You know, Republican. You know, like they're a person first with a family. You know, whether or not their ideologies fit with yours, like you can.
That's a subsidy of who they are.
It's not their entire identity. Like, you know, it's not their. But then again, it's like it's interesting because it depends on what you base your identity on, right? That will influence the way that you go about life. Whatever you base your identity on is how you go about life for the most part, I think. Like, for example, if you base your identity on your job, that's like your first foot that you're going to put in the door. Like, if somebody asks you, oh, who are you? Oh, yeah, I'm an X, Y, and Z, and I work here. You know? Or if your sexuality is your number one identifier, when they ask you, who are you? Oh, yeah, I am gay. You know, depending on what you identify yourself with. And so I think it makes people, it should help us question, like, what am I identifying myself as, and how is that affecting things, you know, and not that you should change that, but it should, like, it's going to show you how. So
we're guilty as well. The primary variable is guilty as well. Like the person who's being asked is guilty as well.
Right.
They're saying, oh, I'm gay.
Right. And whether or not, I mean, I don't know if guilty is, it makes me like, it's like, because guilty has this like bad thing. It's like, I did something bad, but it's like guilty. Yes. They're guilty as well. Because it's like, if everybody who was gay if gay wasn't the first word that they identify themselves as, then it probably won't be like a thing. Like it would just be like, oh, like they're just a person. Oh yeah, and they just happen to like, you know, the same sex of person, whatever. Like, okay. Or even black people. Like, is your number one identifier black? Or is it something else? Like what is your number one identifier? You know, and then that would determine how you kind of go about seeing the world. Because whatever that thing is the first foot that you put into the door. Like whether or not you're noticing that's what you're doing, that's the first foot. Like that's the way you see the world through that lens of that number one identifier.
That's the root.
It's the root of everything, you know. And like recently, I did a drug. I'm. It's kind of funny because like it's interesting, like that I don't know. the fact that I did it is like an interesting thing, but because I don't really do drugs, but I did it, right? And it was acid. It was a what do you call that?
A
Hallucinogen, right? And but before I did, I prayed. How funny is that? Right? I should be one of the people.
I know.
Uber. I prayed about it, right? And so while I'm like, seeing the effects of this drug, one thing that came to me is vantage point. Because, okay, I did it with my cousin. He was out here from New York, and so we were at the beach, right? So he's looking this way. So we're sitting like this. I'm looking this way, right? He's looking this way. From where he's looking at, it looks like there's a tsunami coming, right? Because all he sees is the water and like just the expanse of the water and like the waves and all that kind of stuff. From where I'm looking, I see the water and I just see the sun, right? And I thought that's so interesting because no matter what I was doing, I was always seeing the sunny, and he was always seeing the avalanche and the tsunami coming. We were in the same exact place, experiencing the same exact setting, but we had two different perspectives on that, two different vantage points, like two different points of view, literally, of that. And I found it to be so interesting. It's kind of interesting because like what I was seeing is kind of like an outward expression of like my general personality. Like I tend to see things like sunny. I like the sun. I don't know, whatever, bubbly, whatever you call that stuff. And that's kind of how I see a lot of things. And he kind of has like a slightly negatively skewed perspective on a lot of things. And so it was just so interesting for me to observe that. I was like, that's so interesting to me. That's so interesting, And so what like your point of view is like literally where you stand, and where you stand and look, And it sounds like inane, like it sounds like, oh yeah, duh, but it's like literally like your point of view is where you're standing, the point of where you're standing and looking. And that point, where that's like the root of whatever you see. Like wherever you're standing determines what you see and how you see it. And I think that's so interesting. It's just so interesting. And so, so back to number one, identifier. I think like whatever your identifier is that's the point at which you stand and how you look at everything. So I just think that's interesting too. I don't know anyway. I'm done with that. But it's just interesting. Like people are just interesting. People are just interesting. I like people. I like talking to people and asking people questions and understanding how people work and see life. And I think your movie is going to hopefully help people ask a lot of good questions. Like
they have to.
You have to like
themselves.
For themselves. It's like. And so, for some people may just stick to their views and be like, no, I will never like a gay person. This is the worst ever. Like I hate him.
That's good though. That's good. I want people to create a judgment about the film.
Interesting.
I want them to say he's terrible. He lives on the edge. I want you to walk away having an opinion. You have to have a conversation about this film. Like, get out. Like get out. Like
I haven't seen that. There's a few movies that I haven't seen yet. Like I haven't seen 13th and Get Out because I'm trying to prepare my spirit to receive from those films. But
we'll pray about it.
Yeah, I know I will though. It's so funny.
No, it's a good film.
I have, and that's the reason why I haven't seen him yet because I'm just like I don't think my spirit's ready to take this yet.
Get Out was good.
I heard some really great reviews.
The silent messages were just phenomenal. He was high as hell when he wrote that film.
Who?
Man, it's phenomenal. Man, I'm just being honest. Like, he's the only person in the world that could have told that story like that. That's why he deserves everything he got out of that film. Because he's the only person that God ever created that could have done that. Because how typical Hollywood, it would be flat and generic telling that story. He used so many artistic measures to tell the story. A common theme. He's basically just simply talking about the social prejudice and or positive and or perceptions of being black in America. Simple, right? The typical things we say, typical things white people say, but it's just so artistically well done.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, Fire Stick?
No, wait. No.
Yeah, Fire Stick. Yeah,
Fire Stick. Yeah, I do. It's like that. I do have that thing.
Really?
You have it at home. It's not plugged up though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Fire Stick. It's on there.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out. Mm-hmm. Like I'm interested in seeing that. Maybe I'll see. Sunday's my movie day. So I might watch it on Sunday. Yeah. I might watch it this Sunday. But that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
You have to see it. It's just from a growth perspective. It's just a conversation. It's literally you're having a conversation, a silent conversation with the film as it's going. You know, like it's like, wow, do people really think of me this way? How can I improve my situation so this doesn't happen? I got a friend in this situation. It's real. It's
very interesting. That's interesting that you said, like, you're having a silent conversation. That's awesome. You're having a silent conversation with the movie that's going. That's like they should add that to like their, like you should like publish like an article and they should like grab that snippet and just like put it on the movie poster or something. You know,
it's phenomenal. And hopefully he gets 100 more million. You know.
Hey,
he invested 4.5 and got back over 100 million.
That's speaking of which, like on a side note, I just recently came into knowing that movies are like a kind of investment. They're a type of like a whole different lane of investments. Like that's crazy. I never thought about a movie like as an investment. But it's like if you like say for example like you're going out, you're like looking for like filmmakers trying to raise funds for their movie. Whoever invests, like there's a contract that says okay when the movie makes X amount of gross money, you get this much return. But I was like, what? That's great.
Everyone's looking for an investor.
Yeah, that's great. That's really cool. You know,
I hope to be able to fund this entire film.
Like by yourself?
Yeah, I hope to. Do
you have a budget already?
No, I don't have a budget, but I'm hoping I can keep it low. Because I have my locations are going to be free. So, and that's going to be big, and I own the cameras. So the camera's going to be good. I just need a crew.
You can. I mean, I was gonna say you can get some students to do that, but I don't know. I want it has to be like quality. Quality has to be high.
But it's expensive to put on a film, but the return is.
So it's great.
They say it's greater, but it can be. It's just
But this is gonna be great. You guys submitted to all the.
I'm not worried. This film because of the content.
It's gonna be
because of the content, and I'm leaning on favors too from people. So like, hey, what can you do? Like, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like I'm totally leaning on favors because this film has been in my head for years. But because I couldn't afford to do the $3 or $4 million movie, I could never do it. But I saw a film called 9 Rides about the Uber driver, and I said, I can cut my budget by 80% if I do it in this way. So it's going to cost 80% cheaper because there's no location fees. There's 60% of the movie happens in the car, the conversations, right?
I'm excited to see I'm excited to see like you said what artistic.
It's going to be a lot of silent messages between
the
set. Everything and if I can get like someone like The Game, I'm coming. He's talking to himself, and if I can get someone like him, because of what he can bring, I already reached out to him. I said I can't afford you, but I need you. He says, "Cool, let me know." And,
so what's the next step with that? Like you just gotta send him the script or something, or like kind of.
I'm gonna meet with him.
Okay.
I'm going to try and attempt to set up a meeting with him and go from there. But he's a cool dude. I see him 10 times a year. Not talking to him, but I'm in his presence like 10 times a year.
So he's seen you, so it's not going to be like anything like, oh, you 4, and he's like, oh, yeah, I saw, bro, weren't you at the X, Y, and Z place? I was going to say, have you finished writing the script?
I'm not done with it yet, but I'm progressing with it.
Okay, cool. I think that, like, I don't want to. If you want, it sounds so cool. I would like to read it when you finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and then.
And it's an easy script to read too, because it's like vignettes, so it's not like synchronized.
My favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like drop rides after ride. So there's like little character developments in between the rides, but there's nothing like. So every scene stands alone between the cars. So those are so easy to write because I don't have to like, oh, at 12 o'clock he did this, so it's 1:45 now.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So there's no connection. So it's a real easy read, and it's gonna be a short script too.
How long is the movie gonna be?
Hopefully 90 minutes.
Okay.
Because each ride is 5 minutes.
Okay. Like each ride is going to be spanned 5 minutes.
Yeah, it should be.
I mean, how many rides are there going to be?
Probably 7 or 10. I hear.
It's like what he was saying. But anyway, yeah, I would like to read your script.
Mm-hmm. It should be done. The skeleton of it, not the meat and everything, but the skeleton of it, where I can give you a clear, concise idea of what the character's doing, what he's about. Obviously, once it's casted, we'll start maneuvering the details of it so it can fit. You know, one of the characters may like to juggle. It may be room to. I'm just hypothetically speaking. So
I was like, that's interesting.
Ain't no one gonna be juggling them there. But I'm just saying, like, if maybe I cast one that can sing, maybe we rewrite it so she sings in the. You know what I mean? So
that's interesting.
Or maybe someone with a big booty. You know,
no,
you know what I mean? You know, so.
He driving by like, you sure you didn't order an Uber? Like, yo, I'm pretty sure I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
On my screen, okay.
So there's so many components that go into. So I'll write the skeleton of it.
That's funny.
And because the one thing I learned about actors, they want to be they want to be led. You know, so you can't go in there with the empty script. And no, they do. They do. And they love expanding what you have created, but they want to be led to certain, you know. And so
that's interesting.
It'll be ready because I got like 10 hours on the plane coming up. I'm going to New York Tuesday, so I got 10 hours on the plane, and so a lot will be done on the plane.
Okay.
In terms of cleaning it up, but I hope to have when I get back where I can start casting.
Okay. Like when you back from New York?
23rd.
Okay, so then
10 o'clock in the morning. 23rd. Okay. April 23rd.
Do you have people in mind that you want to?
I do, but I haven't reached out to them yet.
Set up the game.
Yeah, because I'm still open. I've only casted for sure one role. I'll show you a picture. I mean, the reason why I casted her is because of her eyes. Because she'll be in a seated position in the Uber, so I think that she will look phenomenal. And she already said yes to the role. You
know what's interesting about casting is it's like okay, like two sides of the coin. Like, you know how, like, you know, we a lot of us black people we talk about how there isn't a lot of representation. You know, a lot of black people being casted for certain roles. But then I look on the other side. I'm like, if I was like the writer of a script and I had like literally in mind exactly what I wanted, and none of these people are it, why should I cast them? You get what I mean? And so it like makes me think, like, I mean, I get both sides of the coin. Like, why? I guess there just needs to be more black people making movies. That's really what it is, because generally I feel like, I mean, unless the white person is writing about black people, but I think that many times people who write movies, they already have in their mind what they want it to look like. And
it always grows. It's going to grow. Like, even this is my first full-length feature, but even documentaries, you have these questions you want to ask, and then you start interviewing them. You're like, let's take this somewhere else. So this is the lesbian I casted.
Okay.
Show you. Oh, it's RENA. You've probably seen her on Instagram and all that.
Let's see. What's her name? Is she really lesbian? No?
Yeah.
Oh, like in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah.
And she's super excited. She called me back the same day, which is awesome.
Wow.
She's a sweetheart, too. So soft on the phone.
Hey,
yeah.
How are you? Like one of those.
I'm just excited to get going.
Very captivating.
Yeah, that's her. See her eyes? Yeah, you see that?
Like, this is even a good setting for, because she's in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see how you get stuck on her?
Yeah. Dang, yeah, definitely. Dang, yeah, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
So I got her for that. But yeah, I'll call you down to read too, for sure.
What? Oh,
because
man.
while you were sitting here, you know what I was thinking about? Like a religious Black Lives Matter. A religious Black Lives Matter member.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
I was thinking like put you in the car with a Trump supporter, but that would be maybe too forced. I don't know. But I have my artistic license.
That'd be interesting. What's in the bucket, Lincoln? Can I see it? Oh, wow. Train. Who's this? Thomas.
Yeah.
Jugga, 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 jugga. Choo, choo. Can I have it? This is mine?
No.
Okay, here. Bye. Can I have a high five before you go? Boom. Another one. Boom. Boom. Bye. See you later.
I'm going this way.
Yeah, you going that way?
There's no that way.
There's no room in that way?
You got the chair blocked.
Oh, that's so funny. Yes, I knew. Yes, I got my high five. I was like, if I ask him what's in the bucket, he's going to let me see it. But religious Black Lives Matter. Oh my God, that's funny. That'd be funny. Because I got the locks too. Hopefully by then it's like longer and I put it in a ponytail or something. That'd be cool. I mean, let me know. I would like to.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to come read for sure.
Oh wow, that'd be cool. Thank you. Huh? People gonna be like, oh, I knew she was always gonna be one of them people.
It's a roll.
I know. Oh, I was gonna leave you with this actually. I was like, oh, what's in my pocket?
That's your
from the organization. That just tells you what we do. I don't know if you know.
When's your fundraiser again?
So when is it? We have a concert coming up in May 27th. I can email you more information about that. Okay. But we work with musicians who have autism, and our job is to get them jobs.
So if it's May 27th, I'll probably get there like July 3rd.
Wait, bro. Like, no, we ain't even here. The org died already. Everything dead. You know. But yeah, so our job is to basically to get them jobs and help them become fulfilled individuals. There are 3.5 million people in the United States have autism. That's 1 in 68 people.
I saw that commercial.
Yeah, and less than 20% of them ever get any jobs. So if there's 3.5 million people who never have had a job or never will get a job, get going.
Well, thanks for coming.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay. So.
Just so you know, I recorded this conversation.
Did you really?
Like that. Yeah.
Oh my God! What are you gonna use this for?
I don't know. I was like, when you started talking, I was like, I know this is gonna be.
It wasn't me. I didn't even say my name on it. No one even knows it's me.
No,
yep.
No one knows.
Oh, my problematic opinions can stay myself.
I'll send it to you when I post it.
Okay. Yeah. So our job is to get them jobs, and most of them never find a job. So our job is to help them get jobs.
I record all my conversations though.
Do you really?
Like if I have one-on-one, yeah, I always do.
That's so interesting. I guess I'm doing that too.
Yeah, and don't tell them. Yeah. No, not till you're done. Because they'll act out of character. I would never not tell anybody.
I'm like, oh my God. It's almost like a Donald Sterling.
That was 52 minutes.
It was 52 minutes? I'm talking a lot. I didn't even know.
Yeah, we both do. So let's go.
Fred.
Thanks for coming. And I'll definitely, when I get back, I'll hit you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You better on the phone or WhatsApp?
I think WhatsApp is better because then I...
Oh, so you just typically just take 3 days to respond to everybody.
See, now that you say that, I don't even have a phone.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, all the time.
I'm going to also send you a receipt for this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And if you want to make a recurrent donation, you can take that.
Okay, sure. Okay. Not a problem. Just remind me.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you.
Bye, Lincoln.